Hello crafters! Today I'm sharing with you a tutorial on how to turn a regular photo into an SVG so that your Cricut machine can cut it out and you can make a project or a decal with that photo. So we are going to start from the beginning. I am taking a regular photo off of my social media here and we are going to turn it into an SVG. I'm going to show you 4 different options today. The reason I'm sharing 4 different options with you in today's tutorial is because you will get a different result depending on which type of online converter tool you use. We are going to compare to see which converter tool works the best for the type of project you are wanting to make. I'm going to show you a couple of different options and then you can kind of pick and choose what type of style and look that you like. I'm also going to show you a couple of different methods when it comes to editing them. For today's video, I am going to break it down into sections. I will leave the chapters, you'll see them down below and in the little timestamps there. So you can press on maybe a certain chapter, skip ahead, or if you need to go back. I do want to mention I am not a very tech savvy person, so I have seen people go in and make their own SVG files in things like Photoshop and Inkscape, and they look beautiful. But I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea how to use those things. So we are going back to the basics. Today I'm sharing with you the simplest way that I've learned. I see this question asked all the time, and it's actually pretty simple to do. So this is the picture we're starting off with, and the first step you want to do once you choose the photo you're wanting to design is remove the background. So you can use any type of editing software. There is a free one online that I use called RemoveBG. Now that we are on the website remove.bg, I'm going to press the blue upload image button. And then I'm going to search through my folder and find the picture that I've chosen. This one is the one I chose for my social media. Now when I press this one and open, it's going to automatically remove the image background for me. So I don't need to do any of the work, it does it all for me. You will want to make sure that you press the download button, and then we're able to go on to the next step. So this first step was super easy, just remove the background. Now that we have the transparent background, we have made it into a PNG image, we are able to go over and start converting our image into an SVG. We are going to start off with my personal favorite, which is PNGTOSVG.com. This is, again, my favorite online converter tool to use to make my own SVGs. I pretty much use it for any project I make because it's just so easy. So I'm going to put it on the screen here. PNGTOSVG.com. It is free, don't worry. So just type that in, and then we're going to jump on over. Perfect. So we are going to hit this green upload a picture button, and then it's going to open up again our folders, and you are going to select the one with the transparent background. It is the PNG format one, and then it's going to automatically convert it for you. So if you scroll down a little bit, you should see it there. Perfect. Okay, so it did that. Now it might look a little funny to you, and that's okay. There are a bunch of different options on this drop down bar here, so we're going to press that and we're going to play around with it a bit. So let's see what kind of options they have for us here. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, there are different versions, and I'm going to choose 2 today. And we're going to try one that is more of the negative side of it coming out, so more of the shadows, and it's a little darker silhouette-like. I do like that look, and I personally prefer that for most of my canvas projects and signs that I do, things like that. But I also want to make sure I'm including something with a little bit more detail. I feel like the detailed ones are really popular for things like memorial projects and, let's say, family pets and family members and things like that. So I'm going to show you 2 versions on this website. That way you can kind of get a feel of what you might like. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is this one. So we're going to hit download. Perfect. And then we're going to download the other one as well. Wonderful. Okay. Now that we've downloaded those 2 versions of the SVG, we are ready to hop on over to Cricut Design Space. Already, I know. This part is just so simple. I feel like it's okay if you're already feeling a little like information overload. I totally understand. I'm doing my best to talk very slowly and make sure that I'm teaching you step by step and showing every little thing. But if you feel like I missed something or you need a little bit more clarification, feel free to comment down below, and I am more than happy to go in a little bit more detail for you and work through it with you if you need. Because I promise this changed my crafting game once I figured out how to do this. I can make any project I want because I can make my own SVGs. It's great. I love it. And I know some of them need some cleaning up. We can definitely see, there's some stuff all over the place, but that's okay. We can fix it in Cricut Design Space, and I will show you how. So we're going to hop on over to Cricut Design Space, and you are going to want to upload image on the left-hand side here. Just press the upload button. Once I've pressed on upload, it's going to bring me to this menu here. I'm able to hit upload image again, and then I can look in my file folder. It would probably be your most recent download, but it might not show in the little view portion of that file folder. So it might look like a little blue swirl, kind of like this. You're going to want to click on that, and then it's going to bring you over to this page. Now you can select cut image, and then on the right-hand side at the top, if you want, you could change the name of this photo, just so that you can easily kind of look it up and find it if you care. I personally just don't really care right now, just for this tutorial. So I'm going to hit the green upload button. Now, if you're just uploading the one SVG, perfect. You can just select it now and hit add to canvas. But while I'm here, I'm going to upload the second image that I have. To upload the second SVG, I am just going to repeat the exact same steps that I just showed you and just repeat what we did. So I will just skip forward to this same page that has both SVGs on there, and then we can continue from there. Whether you've uploaded 1, 2, whatever, select the ones that you're wanting to add to your project. And then you're going to hit add to canvas again on the bottom right hand side. It's highlighted in the green there. Awesome. So now we're going to see them both pop up on our Cricut Design Space. Before I show you me editing them, I want to show you an example. This shadowed one, the dark one, I would just cut it out like that, okay? This detailed one, there's definitely stuff that needs to be cleaned up, and I will show you how to do that shortly. But let's say, just for the sake of this tutorial, that you really like that look. Maybe you want it to look like that, or perhaps, for example, like I said, the shadow one, I like the way that looks, and I would cut it out like that. I have cut them out like that before. So maybe you don't even want to do any editing, and that's perfect. All you need to do is make sure that all of your pieces for your SVG are welded or attached together, because as you can see right now on the right hand panel, this one right here, it's all attached as one. But when I press on the other one, you see all of those dots and lines on the right hand panel, and that's showing that it's all separate. So when you go to cut it, the machine's not going to understand that you want it all together. It's going to be all over the place, and trying to match that is just crazy. So let's do it a really easy way. You're going to highlight the entire photo. There we go. And then just press the weld button. So as you can see on the right hand panel, it was all highlighted, and it's going to take a bit, okay? So your Cricut might freeze, you might think something broke. Nope, you're good. Just give it a minute. It takes a while sometimes, especially when there are this many little layers to the image. Give it a minute while it does it, and I will let you know as soon as it is done and how I know. In the meantime, I'm just changing the other one's color so that we can see it a little better. Still waiting. You see it really does take a little bit, but I promise it's worth it. Okay, there we go. Now it is all welded and attached together. And do you know how I know? On the right-hand panel, you see these two here. That's it. No other layers, just those two. So when I press on it, I can move the entire thing around, and it's going to cut it like that. If you see on the right-hand panel, you're still seeing little dots and lines and all of those things down there, then you're going to need to weld it or attach it again. But now I'm seeing just the two layers here for the two images, and I'm good to go. So I could make it just like this. If I like the way that that looks, I could totally just cut it out like that. I don't need to worry about editing anything and taking out any of those little extra dots. None of that. So you can cut it out like that, and that would be beautiful for a project. But I'm going to show you how to clean these up a little bit If you are looking just for a more clean finished look, it's really easy, I promise. You can do it very quickly on Cricut Design Space. So we're going to go back and start from the beginning. So what we are going to do is the first one I'm going to show you today is PNGTOSVG.com. So we are going to upload our picture, the one with the transparent background. So if that's the correct photo, we are going to hit generate. And it is going to automatically convert this picture into an SVG for us. Now you're going to see this online converter tool looks a little bit different than the first one we used earlier. And I used the exact same PNG photo to convert it. So kind of weird, right? This is something I wanted to show throughout the video, and we will do a comparison at the end and put them all side by side so you can really see the difference. But if you like the way that that looks, awesome, you can hit that light green download SVG button. Now this SVG is a very layered one, and by that I mean there are different colors, and you would cut this out in multiple different colors. If you like it, we're going to hit download SVG. Okay, and I do want to scroll down a little bit and show you the different layers just so you can really see the breakdown of this. Okay, so I'm seeing 5 different layers here. And how it would work if you are making a project with this type of SVG is you would cut 5 different cuts on different colored paper, for example, or different colored vinyl, whatever project you're doing, and it would come together all to make that one picture. So that's kind of what I wanted to break down and show you, that this one is a very layered SVG. So if you are looking for something like that, PNGTOSVG.com might be a better option. But again, like I said, we will do the comparison at the end so that you can see them all side by side and kind of make your own decision on the way that you like it. Now we are hopping over to Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to show you how to take that transparent background PNG and just convert it into a cut image on Cricut Design Space. No converter tools needed, it's really easy. So hit the upload button on the left-hand side and then upload image. We're going to hit browse, and in your downloads folder you are going to find the PNG that you have. It's the one with the transparent background that we made at the very beginning. And then now we have a couple of options. So for this one we're going to press simple and then continue. Now how we're going to do it is we're going to kind of fiddle around and play with it. So we're going to start removing parts to make it into a cut file. So I'm going to just try different things. It's kind of trial and error. And to see what the cut file would look like, we are going to press preview cut image, and it would show us what the Cricut machine would make it look like when you cut it out. So your decal would look kind of like that. It's okay if you make a mistake, you can just press the little back arrow, the undo button right here. And all you want to do is fiddle around with this. Like, it really depends on what kind of look you're going for. So what I did is I pretty much pressed on every single part of this image. Obviously I cut it out of this process for the video, but I wanted to make it as short as possible. But I fiddled around with it for a long time and just kept pressing preview image, and then if I didn't like it, I undid it and then pressed another part. So make sure you fiddle around a little bit to what you like, and once it's the way that you like it, you can just press apply and continue. And then we're going to press on cut image. You can change the name if you would like as well, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to press upload. Wonderful. So now you can select the one that just uploaded there and add to canvas. I'm just going to size it a little easier, and then I'm going to start adding the other ones as well that we did previously at the very beginning of the video. This is where I'm going to break it down and show you how to edit these. So as you can see, the first one there, we just made that cut file right here on Cricut Design Space in just a few short minutes. We didn't need a converter tool. We did that by ourselves, okay? So that is pretty cool. I know for the video, sure, it doesn't look as fancy, but if you take the time and really just fiddle around with it a little bit, I promise it'll get a lot easier. So I am just writing underneath that this one was made in Cricut Design Space, and then the other one here was made on PNGTOSVG.com. So the reason I'm writing this down is so in the end, when we go to compare, we can see where we made each of them and the different looks that we can get. Now I want to bring in my very detailed version that we had at the start. So that one's already there because we uploaded it earlier. So wonderful. So all I have to do is select the one that I would like and press add to canvas. You want to make sure that you highlight the SVG and you can press ungroup. It is on the right hand panel, but it's at the very top here. Okay, so just hit the ungroup button. Perfect. And now we're able to press on all of these little dots and lines and remove the parts we don't want. So you could do it a couple of ways. You can press one by one on the actual dot itself and remove the parts you don't like. Be sure to zoom in if you need to because some of them are very tiny. You can also use the right hand panel here and just press on the dots and the lines throughout the panel. Now, you don't actually know where they are until you press on it, so it might be a little bit more frustrating that way if you have a lot like in this image. And another way you can do it is just highlighting like little boxes or little sections of it. And if I know for sure I don't want that area, I'm just deleting it altogether. So those are the couple ways that I'm doing it, and I'm showing you a different option, I guess, just that way, whatever kind of works best. And oh, look, I deleted the hair. I want to keep that, so I'm just going to press the undo button. The undo button is your best friend in all of this because it's really trial and error. Even now in the tutorial, I'm just kind of playing around with it and learning as I go. And I think that's the best way you're going to be able to figure it out, is just trying it out and then learning as you go. I picked it up really fast after just fiddling around with it for a couple minutes, so I'm sure you will as well. So I'm just going to clean it up a little bit here. I'll fast forward it for you. And for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm not going to go too crazy into removing all of these little details because in this tutorial I'm not actually going to be physically cutting out any decals. This is just more of the digital and design space tutorial version, and then if someone wants me to do the actual project version, I can definitely do that. Let me know, but for today I didn't want to make it too long and overwhelming and information overload because it's a lot. I can go in and remove, let's say, the little under eye wrinkle I have there, or if I want to remove my dimples, or I don't know, whatever little part you don't quite like, you can just remove those, okay? So once it's to the point that I like, let's just say for this tutorial that I'm satisfied, I'm going to highlight over the entire SVG image I have here, and then I'm going to press weld. It's going to take a few minutes. Again, if you remember from the first part of the video, it does take a little bit, but you'll see all of those little dots and lines on the right-hand panel disappear, and it will just show as the one image. So it'll be one solid layer. Perfect. So that is good to go now. And this one was on PNGTOSVG.com as well. So I'm just going to type that out. So again, we can refer back to that at the end of the video. So now I'm able to just add that to the other two there. Now it's time to bring in the fourth and final comparison that we have today. And this is the one that we did on PNGTOSVG.com. So we're going to go in and do the upload, then upload image and browse my most recent download at this point, and then select cut image. Then we can just press on the one we would like and add to canvas. Wonderful. So you can see it there. This is that really layered version. It had 5 different layers. So I'm just going to add the text of where it's from. And I do want to show you what the layers look like. So if you hit ungroup again, you can remove these layers and see the breakdown of it. And that's what I wanted to show you here, just kind of how it goes and separates. Now for this one here, the PNGTOSVG.com, this really layered SVG that we have, we are not going to weld it together because it is going to be cut on multiple different colors. So we're just going to leave it as it is. If you do end up welding it, you'll see it just turns to one solid color. It'll all be black and it won't have any detail or anything. So you can just hit undo if you accidentally do that. Not a big deal. So these are the 4 versions that I have now. And as I showed you, to go in and edit, like here, I realized, oh, I have some extra things. I was able to just delete those, okay? So super simple. One last thing I wanted to show you with this specific SVG is what it would look like if I go to make it and cut it out on my Cricut. Okay, so first I'm going to make it a little bit larger just so that you can really see the detail, because wow, it's just so detailed. It would be absolutely beautiful on a project. And I really like the cartoon kind of comic book look. I feel like this would look really nice if I was making some type of Tumblr or something, and if I wanted to add a character from a movie on it or something like that. I think this would look wonderful, just absolutely fabulous. So I'm definitely going to be making one with maybe not my face on it, but with this type of SVG. So as you can see, when I go to make it, it's showing me 5 different cuts it's going to make. So I'm going to choose, let's say, 5 different colors of vinyl or cardstock, whatever you're making. And that's kind of the breakdown of it. So all of those layers are going to cut separately. And I just wanted to really show the breakdown. I did want to share that breakdown with you just so you saw how they would cut out. Okay. And now for the other 3, because they're all each their own layer, I'm just going to show you at the same time. So each cut file is only going to take up 1 cut or 1 layer of vinyl, if that makes sense. And that's going to be my decal, just like this. I don't need to layer any vinyl on top of it. It's going to be cut out, and then I'm able to just weed it and stick it on my project. Now it's time for the comparison. I'm excited for this part. Okay, so these are the finished kind of final looks for this tutorial and the comparison of all of them. So I would use all 4 of these just for different types of projects and different looks that I'm trying to get. So for example, the detailed one on the bottom left, I feel like a lot of people would make and use those for things like memorial projects, or maybe things for a family pet or a family member. Those are pretty popular with this type of style. Like I mentioned, the kind of comic book looking SVG at the top, I feel like that would be used for things like movie characters and making merchandise for different things like that. And honestly, I mean, you could use it for anything, but I'm just kind of mentioning what I've seen these projects made with, but you make whatever creative thing you are inspired to make. I personally choose something more like the shadow looks on the edge here. Yeah, these are the ones I would normally go for, and I make a lot of canvas prints with stuff like this. 1, it's really cool with the negative coming out, and 2, it's really easy to weed something like this because you don't have all those little details. It's only a couple of large pieces that you're weeding out, and then the rest is the vinyl. So I really like how easy and simple this project is, and if you are very beginner, I would suggest maybe starting off with something that's more shadowed and less detailed. That way, when you go to weed and everything like that, it's not as overwhelming for you and stressful or frustrating. But if you want to go for it, go for it. It's so much fun once you just get going with it, and it would look absolutely beautiful no matter what way you do it. Now, everyone has a different style and taste, so whatever works for you or whatever style you like is perfect, and it may not be what I like. Maybe you think what I like is absolutely crazy, and honestly, it's kind of weird having my face be these because I don't really think it looks that great in any of these. But I'm sure with whatever picture you choose, it will look wonderful. Okay, so that's it. Please let me know in the comments down below which version you prefer the best. Is it one of the top ones here, the comic book one? I'm just calling it the comic book one. I don't know why. It just kind of reminds me of comics. Is it the more detailed one with all of those little cuts it's going to do? Or maybe one of the shadowed ones? Also, how cool is it that we made one of these on our own, just on Cricut Design Space? Wild. I didn't even know you could do that. I used to pay for SVGs or ask people to help me make them, and now that I figured this out, it is so quick and easy. It took me about an hour of trial to figure out how to do it, and I am not good with technology, so that's kind of why it took me an hour. But now that I have it down, it's really quick and easy, and I have been able to really up my crafting game with these little tips and tricks. Thank you so much for joining me today for this tutorial. Hopefully you got some type of help with what you were looking for in regards to turning your picture into an SVG or a cut image for your Cricut machine. I have a lot more crafting and Cricut content on my channel, so feel free to check some of those playlists and videos out. I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.